You don't believe in me.
I don't.
What evidence would you have of my reality beyond that of your senses?
I don't know.
Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are.
That was Karl Wells from Ebenezer Scrooge.
You see, he believes he's an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard. Gravy.
Mm-hmm.
More gravy than grave.
So the moral of this story now has sort of stood the test of time, and it is a worthwhile message.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I love the story, apart from the fact that it's a ghost story.
Yes.
You know, and that's what attracted me to the story when I was young, because I had seen the old movie with Alistair Sim, old black and white movie. There's been many, many Scrooge movies, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people always remember the Alistair Sim one because that was kind of the definitive movie, you know, because he looked so much like, you know, this avaricious guy. But it's a great story from the point of view, you know, you see a guy who has become so embittered because of things that have happened in his life. His total focus was on making money. From the very beginning, he felt that making money was, you know, what was most important in life, because it would, you know, provide for you, provide for your family, and provide for a nice lifestyle, that sort of thing. But he just becomes consumed by it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it supersedes everything, so much so that, you know, the spending of money became something that he frowned upon, because if you spend the money, you know, you lose the money.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all about making money,
Mm-hmm.
more money, piles and piles and piles and piles of money, and then, you know, stepping on whoever you had to get more.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't seem to care, you know, how much pain or suffering he caused people. And then finally, you know, there's this turning where he's met by the ghosts, and they kind of show him what's happened to him, you know. They
Mm-hmm.
show him when he was a nice, compassionate human being. You know, they show him losing his fiancée, you know, this lovely, lovely, warm-hearted woman
Mm-hmm.
who just can't stand what's happening to him. And then, you know, they show him what he's like at present, and they show him what he's going to be like, or what's going to happen to him in future if he doesn't mend his ways, if he doesn't become a better human being. And so that's what makes it a wonderful story.
Mm-hmm. And it's relative to the times today, too.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the Occupy
Yeah, there's
Wall
a few
Street.
people on Wall Street who could learn a lesson or two.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you did all the voices in the story: Scrooge, Tiny Tim, Marley, and more. You know, we heard. We're going to hear some more coming up now.
Yeah, I've always loved doing voices, and when I worked for CBC, I started out as a radio actor, and when we did radio plays back in the day. And actually, you don't have to go back too far. I mean, I'm not talking about going back to the 1930s or 40s or anything, because radio drama really is still quite vital and vibrant today on a lot of public radio networks, particularly BBC, who still do a lot of radio drama. CBC National still does some radio drama, but locally there is none anymore. But when I was starting out in this business, there was still radio drama, and we were doing it at CBC, and I was in a lot of different productions like Terra Nova Theatre, which was the local one, national productions like CBC Stage, The Bush in the Salon, which was a historical drama that came on Sunday afternoons, CBC Thursday night. So that was kind of my background. And then when I started working for CBC as an announcer and eventually as a weather person, I was still kind of called upon to do characters on radio. I did one called Pottle of the Constabulary, who was this local, cop. And he had a dog who was named after the Justice Minister of the time, T. Alex Hickman. T. Alex was his dog. And another one was the Honorable Member, and I played a member of the House of Assembly from outside the overpass. And each piece actually was the Honorable Member writing a letter to his mother at home. And you'd hear him writing, you know, you'd hear the pen scratching, and you'd hear my voice, you know, doing the letter, basically, to his mom. And then, of course, I did his worship, which was my impersonation of Mayor John Murphy, who was mayor for, I think, three times he was mayor. Mm-hmm. So I did that one, and that was pretty popular. So doing the voices, yes, doing voices has always been something that I've enjoyed doing.
And you do a great job of it.
Thank you.
So once again, speaking with Karl Wells about his brand new CD, Ebenezer Scrooge, Karl Wells Performs a Dickens Christmas Carol. You can go to Karl's website, karlwells.com, for a listing of the stores and all of the proceeds, where the CD is available, and all of the proceeds of the sales of the CD are going to the Autism Society. So you're kind of taking the story of this guy who was, you know, getting all this money for himself, and you're turning it around and giving it to
the Autism Society. Yes. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
great.
So the more we sell, the more money the Autism Society gets.
That's fantastic. Yeah. And you have a reading on the 16th, and that's once again at the
Wesley United Church, which is on Patrick Street, and that's at the corner of, I guess, Hamilton Avenue and Patrick Street. Big blue church, light blue colored church, I think it is. And 4 o'clock, December 16th, which is a Sunday, Candace Folcom Chamber Choir will be singing, and I will be reading A Christmas Carol. Beautiful.
Here's another little taste of what you'll get that evening. Here is another clip. Do you want to introduce this one?
Okay, so we've had Marley's arrival. We've had Scrooge and Marley. So this one would be the little knot of businessmen chatting about Scrooge's demise. Old Scratch has died in the future, and Scrooge is watching this because now he's with the phantom of the future. Mm-hmm. And they're basically talking about his death and whether or not they want to, you know, get together a party and go to the funeral.
They scarcely seemed to enter the city, for the city rather seemed to spring up about them. But there they were, in the heart of it, on change amongst the merchants. The spirit stopped beside one little knot of businessmen. Observing that the hand was pointed to them, Scrooge advanced to listen to their talk.
"No,"
said a great fat man with a monstrous chin.
"I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead."
"When did he die?" inquired another.
"Last night, I believe."
"Why, what was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die."
"God knows," said the first with a yawn.
"What has he done with his money?" asked a red-faced gentleman.
"I haven't heard," said the man with the large chin. "Company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me. That's all I know."
This pleasantry was received with a general laugh. "It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life I don't know of anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer."
"I don't mind going if a lunch is provided, but I must be fed."
So there you have it. That's the businessmen, and these are people, of course, that Scrooge deals with on a regular basis when he goes to the, you know, the market or the stock exchange, and they, as you can probably tell, none of them, you know, are close personal friends. They're strictly businessmen, and this kind of illustrates the kind of life he has for himself now. You know, he doesn't have anybody who really cares about him, except for his nephew, Fred. And he keeps rebuffing Fred. Fred is always trying to get him to come out to the house for Christmas dinner or whatever, you know, but Scrooge will have none of it. He's just not going to do it. So these are the kind of friends that he has who really aren't friends. And as he can see now, you know, they're not even sure whether they want to go to his funeral. One guy says, "Well, I'll go if the lunch is provided, but otherwise I'm not going to go if I'm not fed," you know. So it's kind of, you know, he's realizing what a pathetic life he has, you know. Mm-hmm. But it's at this point now where he's really starting to have second thoughts about about things, and the ice, that ice coating is starting to melt a little bit.